So Pulsar just made a symmetrical mouse. Nice. This is my review of the X2 Mini. So starting off with the price. On Pulsar's website, this is listed for $94. In Max Gaming, this is listed for 99 euros. Here in the Philippines, in DataBlitz, you can get it for 4,990 pesos. Both the medium size and the mini do have the same prices. So what do you get in the box? You obviously get the mouse, the wireless dongle adapter, the USB-C cable, the quick start guide, and the warranty information. The build quality of the X2 Mini is excellent. It doesn't have any rattle to it when I shake the mouse, no creaks. Both mouse 1 and mouse 2 doesn't have any creaks, although some users have experienced wobbling on the main mouse buttons, which caused them to rub against the base and it made a scratching noise. And some even had clicks that creak, but thankfully mine hasn't had that. And Pulsar did address the issue and fixed it in the next batches. The coating on the mouse feels pretty good, but not as grippy as the Superlight. The scroll wheel also has no creaking noise. Comparing this to the build of the X Lite, the X Lite just feels sturdier, probably because of the shape and the size of it. The mouse has a length of 116mm, a width of 61mm, a height of 33mm, and a weight of 52 grams. The biggest thing about the design is that it's symmetrical. It does not have holes like the X Lite V2. The comfort grooves at the mouse buttons feel really good and lets your fingers rest comfortably. There is an RGB LED at the left side of the mouse beside the side buttons. This indicates the battery life and the current DPI. At the bottom of the mouse, of course, it has huge callouts like the X Lite V2. The PCB color is the same as the color of the mouse. If you get a white mouse, you get a white PCB. If you get a black mouse, you get a black PCB, and so on. The X2 has a DPI button, which is not present at the X Lite V2 Mini, and is very useful in my opinion. The on and off switch is located at the right side of the DPI button. The shape reminded me of the Cooler Master MM711, especially if you look at it from the side. The hump is towards the back. The flare on the back is not that much noticeable, the flare being this curve right here from the middle to the back, this one. It's not that noticeable unlike other mice like the Cooler Master one, where it's much more noticeable right here. X2 feels like the Superlight. If you imagine the Superlight has a hump at the back instead of the middle. Next is the sensor. The sensor that the X2 uses is a step up from the X Lite V2. The X2 uses a 3395 sensor which has motion sync, 26,000 dpi, 50 Gs of acceleration, and a 1000 Hz or 1 ms polling rate. The jump from 3370 to 3395 sensor, for most people it won't be noticeable. Especially if you're gaming. For most, it just won't be noticeable. But on paper, it is a better sensor. You just won't notice it. Next are the mouse buttons. Both mouse 1 and mouse 2 uses Kale 8.0 switches, the same as the X Lite V2. They feel crisp and light. The side buttons are Huano white dots, and in my opinion, better than the X Lite. The X Lite just sounds a bit mushy for my liking, but it works. The scroll wheel uses a TTC Gold encoder, and the stepping on it is very responsive compared to the X Lite, which feels butter smooth. You can definitely feel the stepping on the X2 rather than X-Elite. The stock skates are pretty good. They're 0.6mm, they glide easily on my MPC 450, which is a Cordura pad, and on my HyperX Cloud 9 pad, which is cloth. But in my opinion, aftermarket skates like Core pads or Tiger Eyes will feel better. The software is the Pulsar Fusion Wireless Mice. Upon opening the software, you will see your mouse. Clicking it will lead you to the first page. At the top right is your battery gauge. The first page is the button assignments. Here you can assign different inputs for the main clicks, side buttons, and scroll wheel click. Here you can also enable and disable motion sync. You can change the profile and adjust the debounce time, which is defaulted to 4. The next page is performance. Here you can change how many DPI stages you want, and you can adjust the DPI color and the amount of each DPI stage. You can change the polling rate, which is 125 to 1000 Hz. You can change the LOD or lift-off distance from 1 to 2 mm. You can enable ripple and angle snapping. Down here you can change your mouse sensitivity, but there aren't numbers to indicate distance unlike the X-Elite software. You can change the scrolling speed from 1 to 10, default is 3. You can change the double click speed from 900 to 200, defaulted to 900. And finally, the DPI effect. Whether you want it on, breathing, or off. At the last page, this is where you would record your macros. To open up the mice, you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver. The 2 screws are located at the bottom, behind the skate. Once you remove those 2 screws, the base is still held on by 2 clips. One here, this one, another one here. Slowly detach those. Once you do, slide the mouse like this, as it's still being held on by this. But that's really easy to remove. Now, upon opening, be careful as there is a ribbon cable. The ribbon cable is for the side buttons. The side button is using a PCB. The PCB runs through this ribbon cable into the main PCB. This is the battery. This is the TTC gold encoder for the scroll wheel. And these are the KL 8.0s. So my experience with the X2 Mini so far has been great, and have not run into any problems with the build quality, clicks, or sensor. This mouse also helped me learn that I tend to lean on ergo mice for slower paced games like CSGO, while symmetrical mice I prefer for faster paced games like Apex Legends. The reason is that for games like CSGO, I would want the feeling of gripping my mouse comfortably, and the ergonomic shape helps with that. While for games like Apex, I like symmetrical designs because it gives me a feeling of speed. It feels like I'm holding a really small mouse. For my recommendation, I do recommend this for those who want a symmetrical design as well as the humping at the back. For those who have not tried that style, which is the hump at the back, it might be jarring at first, of course, but give it a couple of days and you might be comfortable. I recommend this for those who want an upgrade from the GPO Superlight in terms of shape and weight. Although latency, the GPO Superlight is still faster. So that's my review of the X2 Mini. Thank you all for watching and have a great day.